mute. I'm just setting up to get my monitor on, and I'm just gonna log in on my phone just so I can, watch my show here. See what's going on here. Alright guys, okay. So I'm gonna come in, I'm just letting a few people get up in here. I'm doing my first late night stream just because I meant to go on and stream later today anyway, and I didn't do it, right? So now I'm here, and I figured I'd give it a late night, just kind of see how the late night works out, right? Like the late night's usually pretty good. So let me get my sound right here. It's something I always struggle with. I think it's where I want it to be. Okay. I feel good about it. Hey, what's happening? Alright, so I got my sound right. I don't know why I just turned it up a little bit. Wait. Huh. Okay, alright, so I'm just gonna leave it. Alright, I'm feeling good. So like I said, I'd done an earlier stream and I really got into like breaking down A-Train's powers, like what his powers actually mean, what he's kind of related to. So I decided I would do the same thing for Starlight. And it'll be a good one. Like this will be a good one here. This will be a nice one here because it's a really deep character. Relative to the rest of the characters in the show, I think she gives you a little bit more, right? Like, just being really honest, like, Starlight's not like every other character on the show. She does have a little bit more to her, and so I'm going to get into some comparisons, like, what other characters compare to Starlight? Okay. So let's start it off right. Let's start off, like, her power analysis, like, she's different than the other characters. Like, we do know that, right? Like, there's a deeper meaning behind what she actually does and what she is. Okay, and we know this. Okay, so the first thing is like let's look at her power analysis. Like, what does her power actually mean? Like, what is she actually doing? And Starlight is like channeling power. Like, we see that from her, right? She's absolutely channeling power that she pulls out from the sources around her. So whenever there's light sources around her, as long as there's light around her, she can absorb that power, right? So she's kind of reminds me of Black Lightning in that regard, right? That she can always pull in power no matter what. So she's never really gonna be, it's really difficult to shut her off from a power source, right? Because she's apparently pulling this through the air. Like, it doesn't matter how she gets after it, right? She's able to pull that power in. And she's pretty confident at it, right? So we saw some things where you increase the light around her, and all of a sudden she's getting a lot stronger every time she takes in like some light power, right? So that's pretty much who she is there. And it's a pretty good power. Like, we've seen her get stronger as she develops, right? Let's see. I want to get into this one here. All right. Now it says. Okay. I want to talk about this power analysis, like really to get an idea of like what she's actually doing, right? So when we look at Starlight, she's showing us a couple of things, right? She's showing us a couple of really, really nice things that she's actually doing, right? Annie January. So it seems pretty obvious, right, that she glows. She fires bright blasts. She can blind people. but most viewers can't really, you're just like, she can shoot light. But when you look at her closely, what's actually happening is her ability is a lot more complex than that. Like Annie's a lot more complex than what's just on the surface. She may not be a light-based hero at all. I think she's more of an energy-based hero whose power manifests itself as light. Like that's what I think is the difference with Annie here. Let me warm this up a little bit. All right. Wait. Go on way. Yeah, I want to warm my light up, man. I like that warm copper tone on me. So this is kind of where we look at. Like on the surface level, it's easy to describe Starlight as she manipulates light, right? She can illuminate an entire room, right? She can emit blinding blast. She can create energy, glowing energy bursts. She can surround herself with absolute radiance, right? That's how she is. Visually, she resembles a classic light-powered hero. That's why you look at her and you see her like that, right? So I'm going to make some comparisons to some other characters like Dazzler, Dr. Light, if you remember that character. Photon kind of fits in this, and it's like Captain Marvel, depending on which iteration of Captain Marvel, right, you get after, right? You could see that manifestation in Captain Marvel. Let me get here. I want to be able to watch my video too. Come on, get off of there. Okay, so I just want to be in the chat on YouTube as well. I can't monitor all my chats, but I'm going to be in the YouTube chat and I'm monitoring TikTok. So if you're in any one of those, man, you'll be able to holler at me and I can respond to you guys, and I will. Okay, so we see some comparison type of characters, right, that we get with when you look at Starlight. So not completely unique in that, but I think she's a little bit more deceptive in what she's doing. Like I want to really look at her like something starts happening and then electricity starts disappearing, right? Like that's what you notice with her. Like lights start to flicker, like electronics start to fail around her. Who gave me some love there? Appreciate it, right? Most definitely. Most definitely, Pigeon Agent. Thank you so much. 1440, right? So we see that she is draining power sources. She's draining stuff around her literally, right? So this suggests that this is like the light itself may be a byproduct of this energy manipulation power. That's kind of what I'm feeling when I look at her power and I judge what I see on the screen with her, right? So this is and like I love light power characters, right? I'm gonna get into some deep ones, man. If you're into the mythology behind it, like yeah, I think there's a lot to go on here. So this is one of the more consistent elements of Starlight's ability is her relationship with electricity. And we don't talk about it like she's Starlight, she ain't star electricity, but I think the real star here is electricity. I think electricity is why you're able to do what you can do right now, right? Like that's the realness with Starlight. Like it's your light ability that's carrying you here. It's not, the light is a product of the electricity power. So she can get power from light fixtures, energy grids. Like energy grids right off the bat, when I hear energy grids, batteries, right? Electronic devices, vehicle, like anything that's got juice in it, she can get power off of it, right? So she just run around able to suck in power. So that power doesn't simply vanish. It gets transformed in her body. So this is actually what's going on. Like she's absorbing power. And here's the thing, man, no cable, right? This isn't even wireless where you put her on a wireless charger. She's literally pulling electricity out of like the environment around her. That ain't no joke, man. That ain't no joke. I don't know. Like I said, if you look at Black Lightning, and I should have put him in this comparison, and I'll break out his powers probably separately than this, right? But that's essentially what he's doing. So whenever Black Lightning gets jacked up, he just like summons on that lightning power, right? And his stuff kind of manifests a lot like hers, right? Like the blinding light, like the blast force. So we'll get more into it. So that's what she's doing. She's sucking in this power and she's converting it within her own body. She's sucking in electricity and, she's transforming it into this usable light power that she uses like to do her hero stuff, to get it down, right? So that's her real ability. She's converting electricity into light. So once absorbed, this electrical energy becomes visible. Her body starts to glow, right? Her eyes brighten, her hands emit intense radiation. And this is what everybody notices. That's not even like the cool mechanism that's going on. It's the power converting, like the absorbing electricity and converting into power. That's it, man. This is like a power plant. Like that's what she is, man. She's able to absorb that power and convert it, man. So that in a lot of ways, it makes her pretty much limitless on power. As long as there's stuff going on, your cell phone, anything like that, she could draw. I'm sure she can draw power off of, because you've been seeing, like, without seeing her doing any training, we see her getting more powerful, right? We do see that, right? Oh, it's old coffee. Don't do that. It is old coffee. So that's kind of where she is. So when I'm watching her, I'm thinking like energy manipulation is the cause. This is actually what I go to. I know she's Starlight, but I'm, like I said, I think she's more like your energy light. So and it's not a big thing, right? It's not a big thing to call it light, because it is light effect. It's illumination, it's heat, it's blind, but light doesn't generally hit somebody. Like, you notice when she can hit you, there comes a force behind it. Like, she has force behind her blast, right? People get knocked backwards, objects get shattered, right? Targets experience a physical combat. Like, you getting it. Like, you feel those blows that you get from Starlight. It's a physical thing as well. So what we're actually seeing is a combination of things that go down, right? Like, it's light energy, it's thermal energy, it's electromagnetic energy, and it's concussive force. So she's hitting you with a lot, man. Like, she's really hitting you with a lot of stuff all at once. Like, she can get the blast on, right? So she's very effective. She can damage structures around her. You've seen that. She can disrupt attacks. She can create shock waves after attack. She can knock opponents off of their feet, right? She's a very powerful soup here, right? This is what she really got going on. She uses her powers intelligently. She can flash blind you, right? She can blast you out of the room. Like, he can blind you right off the bat and get you all disoriented, and then hit you with a light blast. Like, she's fully capable of doing all that, right? So her attacks often look like energy blast, energy projection, plasma attacks, like electromagnetism. This is like her traditional thing, right? So she gets down with it, and she'll also blind you, right? Like, I think that's one of her most effective tools. Like, early in the fight, like, I can disorient you pretty quickly. She hits a real bright light on you. Like, for most people, you're not prepared for it. She's like a military flashbang. Like, that's what she is. She's like a military grade flashbang thrown right at your face, right? And then she turns around and blasts on you. So when you're like this, like, that's when she's just like, whap, 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 right? So she can do this, and this is a way of her, like, disable somebody without causing permanent damage. Could she permanently blind you? Probably. What's her upper limit of light? I don't think we've seen it yet. Whether we get to see that, I don't know. She seems like she's about to settle into a boring life of kids and all that, right? Annie also has some other abilities that seem to get conveniently overlooked, right? And that is her physical enhancement, right? That's something that we overlook. But she's also showing us on multiple, like we saw her early on, man, like lifting weight, lifting cars, punching through brick and all that stuff, like getting her at-home training on. Like, although I don't know how you're punching the bricks in your own house, that one never sat right with me, because I'm like, man, who's repairing that stuff? Or are you just leaving holes in the bricks in your house? That's not gonna help resale value there, right? But I guess if you make the 7 out of it, it's all worth it. I still got that mosquito bite. I'm telling you, mosquito bites are killing my hands, right? So she's also shown, like, increased durability. She's also shown strength. She can survive impacts that would seriously injure normal human beings. She's engaged in physical combat with, like, enhanced opponents. So she can withstand punishment far beyond normal limits. So she's overall soup on top of it, right? Like, she has a lot of possibilities. So what if some of the energy that is redirected goes inward? Can she enhance herself? Like, is she able to increase her strength? Is it just outward with the ability, the energy absorption, or does she get more? So that's kind of where we is. Like, this is electromagnetic energy manipulation, like 101, right? That's it. So when I look at her, I kind of, like I said, the more I talk about her, the more I see her in line with my man Black Lightning, like, in how, and Jefferson Pierce, like the DC character, right? So if she can do that, man, if it's electromagnetic, we know she can tap into, like, the full spectrum. It's not just the visible spectrum. That seems like that's 100% where she's at, which is powerful enough, man. Like, I'm not knocking it. I'm in no way knocking what Annie's gifts are. Like, I think she's pro level, man. I think she's 100% pro level. Like, I'm down with it. Like I said, I've always been into, like, the energy manipulation characters, right? This is always kind of an interesting thing, right? So the next part I wanted to break down with her is, kind of getting into like who she is within the boys. Like she's a unique character, so it's not lost that she has light powers, right? Like that's pretty obvious in the writing that they did for her, like why it had to be Starlight, right? Like she comes in here, we get there and she becomes the moral center, right? Like for the boys, she kind of does become the moral center. That's who she is, Annie January. Like she walks into it. I mean, think about it, man. Okay, she walks into Vought instantly, and like the corruption is all around her, right? Like this becomes her fight right off the bat. Depending on how you tell this look at the story, this is kind of Annie's story, right? This is actually how it would go. Like her actual mission was to go to this place of all this corruption and burn it out with her light, right? That's what you would think, and that's kind of that's kind of the route that it goes. So she gets there. She comes from a small town environment, right? She's deeply, deeply, deeply religious. She's taught that superheroes are heroes. Not only that they're heroes, right? That they're also divine. So this ties a lot into just like who she is personally, how she feels, right? She's not going into it understanding that they're celebrities, right? That the corporate, how she didn't know this stuff because she was kind of on the young like pageant, I would have thought she would have got that stuff, but because clearly that would have been a part of what you're doing. So how she didn't really see that, but I guess no one saw the level of the branding and all that stuff, like what it eventually gets to, right? So she's training, she's using her power, she's thinking it's meant to help people, that this is like a gift from God, and God wanted them to do this stuff. And she believes this is her dream. She gets a place in the seven. She's like, this is what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to represent everything that I believe about helping people and being all Christy and all that stuff and bringing that to the seven. She's supposed to elevate every cause that she's been advocating for her entire life. She becomes a world famous superhero and she's the Starlight, right? But then she gets there and it's a whole different reality, right? Like the Vought is a whole different reality. Immediate sexual assault, right? I mean, like immediately, like, hey, this is Annie. Everybody, Annie. That's such. Bam, bam, bam. Okay, well, we'll leave it. We'll leave you to it, right? Immediately after that, sexual assault. So that just kind of lets you know like what she walks into. So we get that, like that arrival, that moment right there. It's raw. It's like it's raw. It's one of the rawest moments. And like I said, man, if you were into the show, read the comic book, man. Like you can get it on Kindle if you have Amazon. It's included. I'm pretty sure it's included in your whatever your monthly subscription. You can get books on there too, right? So check it out because like the intro scene there is way rawer than even what we get in the show, right? Like you gotta hit that moment, man. You gotta like get that moment and really really feel it because the shock is huge, right? So she gets a shocking moment that now we're challenging like institutions, we're challenging what her dream is. So she has a real moment where she's like wrestling with these two worlds ultimately colliding together, right? Like this is where Annie January is with it, right? Like it's not just corporation, this is corporate machine, this is media machine, we're changing, this is corporate influence, this is marketing departments, this is politics, like there's politicians, there's generals there, military personnel, and you're just like on display. Like they got her on display. Get your ass out, like let's go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and you're forced into this, like literally every aspect is forced into it because now you're part of this like celebrity empire. Like she immediately jumps into it. And heroism is not only like secondary, it's not even secondary, it's probably not even on the list. Like actual doing hero work, that's not even something that's going on down there, right? Like that's not what's happening. She probably was a bad fit for them to hire in the first place, right? Because she actually wants to do this stuff. She actually wanted to be like, okay, I go out and I fight crime every day and I'm legit about it. That's who she actually wanted to be. But clearly these guys are like, yeah, we're doing nothing at all that resembles anything like what you just said, right? So this is kind of where we start to see it. So she becomes like, so clearly right off the bat, Starlight is now like this idealist in this extremely cynical world. So we see like on a lot of levels, she's not obviously the strongest. She's not the strongest member. She's not the strongest one there. She's not the most famous. She's not even the most feared. Like all that stuff. Like she's a low man on the totem pole. In this, it's her idea of actual heroism is what's kind of revolutionary, right? Like she's another dose of it. Like I believe that connection that she had with Maeve was important, even though Maeve dissed her. Like Maeve was like, you look disgusting, right? Don't let him see you crying, you little whatever, right? But Maeve represented that ideology first coming in. Like Maeve came in. So I think that's something that we never really put that needs to be pushed back on her, because we kind of let Maeve walk away with like the superior thing, but like that was you too. Like you used to believe like that. And Annie kind of said it, like she kind of put it to her, like you were a person who believed really hardcore like that. So, that's what makes her revolutionary, is that she doesn't stop. She's very persistent. Like even when she gets down, and she's not able to go to her faith either. Like all that stuff gets taken away from her. So while she goes through the biggest challenge, right, that she's had in her life, everything that you would rely on is now, in question. Like, her relationship with her mother is in question. Her relationship with her faith is in question. All this stuff, like the institutions. So that's how you end up latching onto a weirdo like Huey and this group of terrorists that they call the boys, right? Because she's so taken out of her environment that she looks for and latches on to like pretty much, the safest branch that she can catch on the way down, right? So she's very different from all the Homeland. Like her thing is, she doesn't come there having really had trauma before. Like clearly with Homelander, your trauma started before you got to the 7. Like you were part of Vought your entire life, so you've been traumatized like for way back. Like you deep on traumatization, right? Annie didn't really start catching trauma until she got to this point. So coming in, she is kind of different than everyone else. It would seem like Nor, I don't know what. Like by the time we get to seeing Nor, like man, your trauma is at like a red flag level. It seems like Maeve's trauma. It seems like Maeve had a messed up childhood too. I think Maeve kind of said something about having a jacked up childhood, but a lot of them are a mess before they get there. So she gets down there and she finds that like everybody's just off the hook. Like the Deep is all about acceptance and like, sexual assault and all that. Black Noir is just like brain dead, just follows orders. Maeve has already been broken down like that. Like Maeve is already out of the hero business. She's purely in the show business at this point. Like they didn't beat it out of Maeve. Like they had already beat it out of Maeve. Like we saw that. So this is what she's coming into. So she gets angry. She makes mistakes within what she's doing. She gets disillusioned, right? She compromises at times. Like she doesn't. Let me turn my. I got a window AC for myself, man. Like that, man. It's the sound, right, baby. Got to do it, right? Otherwise, it's late night. It's like 12:30, and it's still hot out here. Okay, but anyway, so this is who she is. She gets fully disillusioned. So as a character, like you see the character arc of her really like going through, right? But yet we know there's something there because she is literally the symbol of light in the entire series, right? In the entire series, she represents light itself, purity itself, right? That's who she's come with, personality. So this is kind of like the symbolism of light. Literally is what she produces. Light is truth. Light is exposure, right? It's revelation. So she comes in representing this in a place that's just like riddled with like secrets and corruption, right? So it's kind of odd that they would pick that character. So there's kind of this like assumption that they don't even feel like they can be challenged. Like everyone who comes in is prone to be corrupted in the same way that they're all corrupt down there. That's kind of what they come in with it. Like by bringing someone here, I'm like, she's not vetted for what you guys want to do. She doesn't fit the profile of someone who would make the 7, right? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, but I guess that's the totality of it. Like, if I have a criminal organization, like this is what we are. I'm not looking for someone that's actually morally good, knowing that I then need to corrupt that person. Like, I'd rather get somebody who was already like, you're already morally questionable, right? Like, I'd rather get a morally questionable person, right? Okay, I was off screen there. I'd rather get a morally questionable person already and slide them into this scenario because it's a lot less resistance. And she did end up getting you guys, like bringing her in there. She spied on you guys. Like you guys lost out a lot by allowing her into your inner circle, like you did. It's 100% bad operation of your criminal organization. You really need to vet. But I think they just got to the point that they were able to corrupt everyone. That's where you make those blind spots, and you let, like, Starlight should not have been the profile of someone that you brought into the boys, right? It's like, and that's what she ends up doing. Like throughout the series, she's literally the one exposing Vought, exposing corruption. Like she's a gap between image and reality, and that's the whole thing. Of course, she's gonna shine a light, and she light reveals, light uncovers, light exposes what was in the darkness, right? Like that's exactly what she does. Her power is a metaphor for her role, so she fits that. Like that's the whole thing. It really clicks that thing together, and by bringing that in there, she would expose all the corruption that's at Vought. That's bad management on Vought. That is bad asset management on Vought Industries. That you were so, again, but that's who you guys are. You're so absolute in your corruption that you can't even imagine people who are still very righteous, where that stuff's not going to fly. Like, not everyone's going to be like, yeah, I'm just going to let this ride. Like, not everyone. You guys have gotten a lot of people, but they start kind of normalizing who they are. So that's why the audience connects with her, because, like, their power, most superheroes, your power fantasies. You're if I get some powers, this is what I will be doing. She's different because, like, her struggle isn't even about defeating the villains. It's about maintaining an identity within an environment that's designed to destroy exactly her, right? It's like what they wanted to do was introduce the purest thing into this corrupt system and corrupt that thing. That's where they really were with her, right? So we see a lot of that. That's how she. So how does she survive? How does a good person survive in an absolutely corrupt environment? That's the real battle that she fights. It manifests itself in Homelanders, but it's not really, like, she's fighting against a whole lot more than just Homelander. He's simply the manifestation, and the other suits, like, again, like, you're gonna get tested day one. Like, you're gonna walk in here and they're gonna put some D in your mouth and just, like, test you out, and then stand in your face and be like, yeah, what? Remember, after it happens, Deep is like, yeah, what? Just, get over it. Like, it just happens. You just gave me some head, right? That's all it was. I mean, to him, that's really what it was. So she walks into it as a character. Like, there's a lot. There's a lot on this character. There's a lot, like, development that goes in that. And like I said, the best thing is that, like, and I think a lot of them, more your powers are partially manifestations for who you are, but hers really fits, like, what her role is, what she does, what she means. Yeah, absolutely. Like, this is one of the best, like, character representations, like, in the whole plot, right? So we get a chance with her, to kind of really get into where she is, like, how she uses her power, right? The concussive force, the energy absorption. Like, she's really fully embraced, like, ensconced in a good power set, like what she represents. And, like, that's her breakdown, like her overall breakdown. And I always share this stuff, man. So I've got this info, right? If you go to the site, it'll be there. But, like, she's basically energy absorption, she's power projection, right? She's concussive force, all that with enhanced durability. Like, we saw her get down. We saw a couple of really good fights. Like, she went at A-Train. Who do we see? We saw her go at A-Train. We saw her, a couple of times against Deep. So both of them are enhanced power beings, right? And that's an odd pairing, lightning and water. It was weird they put them on like a team up together. It was kind of weird. But overall, like, this is a girl, like, you see her, as long as there's light around, she can get power. Like, I kind of did a whole segment early breaking down her powers, but anything around her, street lights, buildings, electrical grids, generators, like vehicle electrical systems, all that stuff is fuel for Annie. She can take that, and the interesting aspect is that, we see her growing stronger. It's her body converting it. So is she generating power? It looks like she may be amplifying power as she brings it in. Light projection, right? She can blast flash, concentrated beams, explosive bursts, area-wide illumination, right? She's really got a high output. So flashes are enough to temporarily blind opponents and overwhelm normal beings. She can put people down pretty quickly. She doesn't go to this as much as she should. In combat, and now she can fly. Like, she's got flight on top of it. So what's the upper limits? Because we didn't even get flight in there. We got all her light projection concussive force, and we've seen her just put people on the ground with her blows. Like, she can take blows, she can dish them out. She's got strength. Like, she's a full service hero, man. Like, I give Annie January props. Like, she is one of the more powerful. Like, we don't really get into ranking her, against the other characters, but I feel like she can hold her own, man. Like, A-Train's a problem because of speed. Like, they got some dope characters. I think Maeve's strength makes her a problem. A-Train's speed makes him a problem. Like, the Deep doesn't really use his powers the right way, but Annie, she's up there, man. I give Annie a lot of props as far as like what she can get. She's got enhanced bone density, all that stuff, man. It'll be interesting to see if if they were doing the story, if her and Huey's baby would manifest, because Compound V, Compound V is in his system. Like, you're never free of it, right? It is a part of you. Like, it manifests some changes in your DNA, so that information at least is still there, right? So that's kind of where I look at them as like, yeah, what would be with that next generation kid? It could be really, really, really weird, right? Okay, so I wanted to compare Starlight to a couple other characters, because she ain't new. Like, this isn't the first character that we've seen manifest light powers like this. And it's funny, like, the first character that I thought of when I saw it was the Dazzler, right? Like, I remember the Dazzler. Like, Dazzler was probably, let's see, I don't know, man. I don't know if I'm embarrassed to say it, but I had a brief Dazzler run. I don't know how many Dazzler comic books I actually had, but I had a few, man. I gotta be honest with you guys. I had a couple of Dazzler comic books that I bought in my old collection. At the time, it was kind of crucial. Like, she was doing some stuff. You got other link-ins with other comic books, so I had to. Like, I was forced to get some Dazzler. But I'm not gonna run from it. She's one of those interesting characters who is, again, light power, but hers is also with sound. Like, that's where the Dazzler is different than everyone else. While Annie is taking on, like, absorbing electricity, I believe the Dazzler's thing was sound. Like, she's a performer, so I don't know if it was just like, yeah, sounds different. She flashing lights, laser beams, energy blast, holographic projections, massive visual displays. Like Starlight, her powers are built around spectacle. Let's see. So yeah, she's known as a singer, a celebrity, and she's also a hero. So that like Dazzler was doing her performance, like that was she was all about, right? She wasn't just like, oh, by the way, I sing. That was her whole thing, right? So she was a character, like, she would actually convert sound into light. That's a weird one there, though, right? Like, I always kind of felt like that was a weird connect between the powers. Like, why would you take, like, sound itself is a whole realm of abilities. I guess they made some link in it, and that's how she got tied in with Ulysses Claw. I'm back, it's man. That's how she got tied in with Ulysses Claw, who you would see in the Wakanda. Like, again, it's he's there because of vibranium's, like, what it does with sound. Like, it has some sound vibrational capabilities as well, right? So this is where you get Dazzler. And this character, man, Dazzler was out, man, I want to say in the 80s. Like, I'm gonna look at it. Let me see if I can figure it out here. She was an important character. I'm surprised, as far as Marvel goes, that this character has been completely buried. When did the Marvel character, the Dazzler, first get introduced? Because I think she's fully a mutant. Like, this. So this is one of the kind of early mutant characters. Let's see when she comes out timeline wise. Oh, come on, man. I have time for this, man. I just want to see when she developed, man. This was what the hell are you doing? Come on, man. I don't have time for you, man. What's going on? When did the mutant character, the Dazzler, first get introduced in Marvel Comics? All right, well, what the hell's my internet? I don't know what's going on, man. My chat GTP isn't working. And I definitely just wanted to, like, get a little backstory. Let me see if I can find a little backstory on this character, though, man. I guess I'll have to go old school. Let's see. Let's see. Dazzler. Marvel. Allison Blair. So this character first came out X-Men 130. Yeah, so she came out in 1980. Yeah, so this is a character that early on was tied to X-Men. So she's very much a mutant character, right? And it was just a cool character. Like, this is a different time in music. So that 80s kind of vibe in music. And that was her thing. Like, she would take all the lights and all that and convert that. So the more sound, so she got powered up by the crowds, right? So she would sing, she would dance, and the crowds would power her up, and then she would unleash her power. So like this was a very interesting character. Like I think one of the earlier kind of pure light characters, and I've never seen a sound association like this character. So that was one thing about the Dazzler. She was very different. Then of course we got Starlight, and then we got Dr. Light. Like Dr. Light's been in a couple of versions here, but Dr. Light is also a character that it's a scientific approach. It's the same power, and her ability includes control over photons, electrical radiation, right? Stellar energy. She can make light constructions. She can make energy fields. So it seems like it's a little bit broader interpretation from Starlight. So that's a very different thing, kind of similar. But how she got her powers, she controls it. So she has differences, okay? Starlight appears to do it through energy absorption, convert it into light, and then release it as a force. Dr. Light manipulates the underlying phenomenon directly. So she is actually controlling the particles. She can bend light, she can create invisibility, she can generate illusions, she can redirect energy attacks, and she can alter what people perceive. So she's got a pretty like full set of powers there that she's able to get down. So a little bit different than what Starlight's abilities were. Starlight's abilities seem like they're a little bit more kind of organic. Whereas Dr. Light, like again, the scientist, you're controlling in a physics. You're taking more of a particle physics approach to it. That's how I would look at it if I had to define these two characters. I would definitely see that's the difference. Interesting to see which character would be more powerful and how these characters, like really evolve. Because another character, man, that's right there at the tippy top of all this. Another one of my favorite characters, man, Monica Rambeau, who obviously is like, Captain Marvel. She's like Photon. She's a bunch of stuff, man. I remember when this character first came out, as an Avenger, man, and I was all about this character, right? Because she was cool, man. You didn't see a lot of sorry, Monica Rambeau, EAU, right? There wasn't a lot of characters like her power set wise, and they dropped her in here being extremely powerful right off the bat. Like, she's a very, very powerful character. Her powers chart extremely high in what she's do. She controls visible light because she's the whole spectrum. So she is a little bit more than what Annie does. Like, she's the entire spectrum, visible light, right? Radio waves, microwaves, right? Infrared radiation, ultraviolet radiation. So she's, X-rays, gamma radiation. So she stops behaving like a traditional superhero. She's something else. She's more living light. She's more like a force of nature. She gets all that, and then she can move at superhuman speeds, right? She's a whole different gambit of power. She can pass through matter, so she starts taking it in like whole different directions there, man. Like, as a character, she really does. Like, as a character, she's more of a cosmic, really like a cosmic level character than anything else, right? So when we talk about her, you know, she's kind of she can transform into different forms of energy. Like, let me kind of like, man, I really want to dig into this character a little bit. This, like I said, this is one of my favorite characters when she joined the Avengers, and for her to join the Avengers and instantly, like, you're up there, man. You're hanging up there with the most powerful of the Avengers, and she steps into like a leadership role with the Avengers pretty quickly, man. Like, so that's how much respect they had for her. Is right off the bat, they're like, yeah, you're gonna be in management down here, and that's where they put her in at. So she had, you know, because she comes with the military training, right? We know that about her. I think she was like Air Force, I believe it was, with this character. But let's pull her up here, right? So, but her power, man, like she is next level power, man. She's actually next level. So she's a lot more powerful than, say, like a Starlight. Whether Starlight can get there, I don't know. But they're kind of manifesting. Seems like Monica's not absorbing it as much. She's kind of in tune with it. Like, biologically, she's a conduit herself for all types of energy. So I'm sure on a cosmic level, like, that's what she's doing, right? She's if Annie controls magnetic energy, right, rather than creating it, Monica represents like the final destination. She's the scale, like where Starlight draws power from batteries, lighting, electrical system. Monica effectively is becoming that energy herself. She's not just absorbing those energies. Monica Rambeau is those energies, right? Like, she can take on a purely energy form, like just a straight up pure energy form. So like, there's a bigger pattern here. We can kind of see all these characters are a little bit different. Dazzler is light as more performance, is what we get with her. Dr. Light is light as knowledge. Like, that's how Dr. Light is coming at it. Dr. Light's like, yeah, I understand the math, right? The particle physics that are underlying all this. That's where this character comes from. Monica Rambeau, she represents light as transcendence. Like, she has transcended her physical body. Starlight, I kind of feel like, sits right at the middle. She's kind of a component of all those pieces. So it's kind of a brilliant way to put together a character. Because like where she rides at, I think they gave her a lot of possibilities. She could get more powerful than this. We see her take some huge jumps in her power set. You know, even in these stages, we see her, like, as she's going through the show, we see her get more and more powerful, where by the end of it, like, she's just blasting off and flying like it isn't, like it's nothing, right? So that's kind of where her powers start to get next level. Now, the last part, like, you know, I always like to talk about not only the characters, but like the mythology that comes behind. Where are you going? I didn't ask you to go over there. Also, what the heck are you? Okay, hang on. Let me get to the image that I want here, because I want to talk about the mythology that follows behind the characters. And there's a lot. Like, obviously, this is in a vacuum. Where are you at? Did I get? Where's it at, man? Mythological patterns. There we go. All right. All righty then. Okay. This is a good part of it. Like, this will kind of ground a lot of stuff. I always like to bring it back to mythology, because, man, most of these comic books, this is all referencing like mythological information, right? Like 100%. It's all based off myth. Like, myth was the early part of the worship, right? So let's look at light in mythology, because light is always there, right? The sun gods, the light gods, man, these are the earliest representations always for light power. Okay, so probably, and these are probably the most well-known. Light is symbolic, light is metaphor, light is always at like the height of power, where you get it. It's usually associated with the sun. So the first character that we hear, that comes from Kemetic belief systems, that's Ra, and that's the sun that defeats chaos. Like, I don't know if you guys know this, but every day you guys see Ra up in the sky. Like, you see him in the morning, you're like, hey, what up, Ra? Good to see you in the morning. And then like around like 11 a.m., you're like, hey, what's going on, Ra? By 1 o'clock, you're like, Jesus Christ, by 4 o'clock, you're like, I'm so sick of him, I wish he'd go away. And then by the evening, you're like, oh man, I'll see you tomorrow, homie. When all that happens, Ra descends into the underworld, and that's where it really gets interesting for Ra. The parties up here, that's easy, right? The easy day part. It's the nighttime descent into the underworld that becomes significant for Ra. So that's why if I look at like the mythological representations of light itself, this is what he does. Like light, every sunrise is a victory over chaos. Every time he comes up and he rises, it's more of a celebration than what we even think it is. This is truly one of the earliest parallel stories of light overcoming chaos. If we put Starlight into that, like her coming out of this is her being reborn after going through the crucible. That is ultimately the story. This comes from Kemetic belief systems, and Ra represented life itself. He represents order, represents illumination. So that's a whole thing. We've always had that representation of Ra, and it's one of the like. So what he faces every single night, right? Every single night, he goes into the underworld, and this asshole named Apep is waiting down there for him, right? Apep is ultimately chaos itself. Apep is the anti to everything we want. He wants to stop Ra from rising, because if Ra doesn't rise in the morning, all order breaks down. Like every aspect of order is now in jeopardy. So this is what he faces. So every night he descends into this underworld, and Apep is the giant snake. So you guys are going to have to get up on Apep. He's one of the biggest, like craziest forces that's out there. And I'm telling you right now, Apep has worshipers, active worshipers. There's a guy, I'll talk about Apep again in a separate live, right? But Apep literally, there's a guy who went to, is a murderer, he's a mass murderer. It's like 5 years ago. I can't remember this guy's name. And I feel like I intentionally like didn't keep his name logged into my brain. But is doing murders and is all marked up as I am a disciple of Apep. I don't know how much truth that is, and I don't want to know. But it does seem like any other worship, Apep worship is still persistent. So in ancient beliefs, that's the battle. If Ra ever lost, if the sun didn't rise, the world ends. So this is the biggest battle you can get, and this is what Atun Ra represented, right? He is that ultimate defender of us. So every single night he has to go in and face the battle against chaos, that ultimate battle. If he ever loses, right, even one time, all of a sudden we don't get to exist anymore, right? So that is illumination. That's all that stuff at the highest level, right? That we have to face Apep, right? Or he has to face Apep every single night, and it's a big battle. First of all, Apep isn't coming down there by himself, right? Apep isn't coming alone. There's a whole legion that assaults this boat. And how important is it that we defend Ra? Well, everybody comes down and joins, right? Sekhmet's there, right? Set is there. Mafdet, Osset. Like everybody comes down and they're on this solar bark because they have to defend him. So every night when the sun rises, man, you got to think about how lucky you are that the sun came up, that we were able to defeat actual chaos, because that's what we need every single night. So this is one of the earliest representations of how important light is to hold off chaos. So that's what Starlight, that Starlight lineage in there, is that she's part of that, right? The boys internally, they represent the darkness, and she literally comes in as Starlight. Like it stays so true to the story that I can't get past it. Like not only is she light in form, she's also manifested, and the metaphor for her role is 100% like light bringer, right? So she's illuminating like this corporate manipulation. She's illuminating this power abuse. She keeps on fighting. She keeps shining through no matter what. Darkness can't keep her down, right? So then the next one, of course, in mythology, I'm sure you guys know about this guy as well. This is Apollo. Now, this comes to us from Greek and then later Roman mythology, and he's one of the more fascinating gods in mythology. Now, I'm not going to lie. This is one of the first gods that I was actually like, oh man, this dude is dope right here. It was Apollo when I started reading about Greek mythology, like very, very early on. So he's associated with a lot of really good things, right? He's light. He's truth. He's music, right? So again, maybe I was wrong on that association with Dazzler. I was saying I didn't understand Dazzler's music and light connection, maybe it comes through Apollo. Like Apollo's repping that same thing. He's also healing. So the power of vibration, light is oftentimes associated with healing. Light music is also associated with healing as well. So two kind of healing aspects within that one character, right? Knowledge. Again, light is illumination. So it does come along with, I can see things. I've illuminated what's in front of you. I'm exposing any corruption. Like, I am enlightened, right? That's literally what it represents. I am enlightened, right? This is prophecy. So Apollo illuminates more than just the physical world. He illuminates reality itself. That's how powerful he was. He's associated with the Oracle at Delphi, and that's an important part of his character. Like going there and being able to reveal prophecy is a huge part of what he is. He reveals what is hidden. He exposes deception. He brings clarity, right? This connection becomes incredibly interesting when we look at Starlight. And as I'm talking about it more, I'm seeing a lot more of a connection with Apollo and a character like Starlight, like why she represents that. And I'm not sure if the writers had keyed onto it, but they're pretty sharp guys down there. So I'm going to assume that they did. Like that's a very profound connection. She becomes truth teller, right? That's what she really becomes. She becomes throughout the boys. She is repeatedly exposing secrets with her connection. She reveals the corruption. She uncovers a lie. So this is right in tune with what she's supposed to represent. She shines a spotlight on all the other things that everybody wanted to hide. So Apollo is very much connected with that. You know, that music and that performance. Starlight obviously is a public figure. She's a performer, entertainer herself. So there's a lot in there. And as I kind of look at it, man, that makes me think back on Dazzler, who we just broke down. And those three kind of form something that I'm seeing in terms of light, in terms of illumination, performance, and music as well. So they're kind of tying all that stuff in. Clearly Starlight lesser so on like the actual music part, but she would, we saw her as she was coming up that dancing music was a part of what she did. So she becomes an illuminator rather than just a performer. But that's in tradition. That is 100% in tradition with following of Apollo. So that's pretty profound. I think they're really drawn on, like, in two mythological characters, Ra and now Apollo, we could see a lot of how people would come at, like, how you develop a character like Starlight. So that's kind of some brilliant writing, right? And the third one in the mythological part is Amaterasu, who is the Japanese, I believe this is the sun guys. And what she represents, if you know the story, and this is a vastly important story from Shinto mythology. I think this is Shinto mythology. And she is the great sun goddess. And like every other culture, sun is obviously very important. Like the sun was very important, particularly in Japan. Remember, their symbol, their national symbol embraces the sun. So they put that at the center of their identity, right? Put it at the center of their identity. And I'm going to talk about some other Japanese characters because there's some great, man, what was that guy's name? Was it Sunfire? I think it's Sunfire. It was a Japanese character. I think he's kind of associated with the X-Men. And he represented Japan. We'll talk. He was a solar figure. He looked like the flag, so he was kind of like their Captain America, Captain Britain kind of character. Like a great character, though. I really enjoyed this character, right? So, but back to Amaterasu, like the story of the sun here is she represents when the sun goes away. What happens is that something comes out. She has a brother. Brothers always kind of mess with their sisters. And he does something that, hurts her or humiliates her. And as a result, she goes into a cave. So she cuts off sunlight from the entire world and everything becomes dark and completely suffering. Like everything sucks now, right? Like you ever heard the song, Ain't No Sunshine When She's Gone? It's all dark when she's away. Ain't no sunshine when she's gone. Every day I wish she's something like that. We're sad because she went away. The sun went away, and that's what she is. As soon as she went away, the entire world starts to suffer. Everything sucks. You can imagine. It's cold outside, right? No crops will burn. Like this sounds very much like the story of Demeter in Greek myth, where Demeter goes away. That's how they explain the seasons. In this Japanese and this Shinto mythology, they're expressing the same thing. It's a seasons change, but it happens in a different way. You literally drive the light away. She becomes light hidden away. So now darkness spreads, right? Just like what was his name? Rick James. Darkness is spreading, everyone. The Darkness Brothers. Darkness is spreading. So life becomes weak. Order itself starts collapsing. So again, the association like Ra with order and light is like it's a pillar. Like light is absolutely a pillar of all this. And when the sun gone, things get desperate. Like the other gods start instantly getting tight. They start realizing pretty quickly where the real power of life actually is. And it ain't in you guys, right? Like it's not in you guys, it's actually in her. So it's in her and she's gone. So all of a sudden this is a problem, right? So this is what we see. So eventually all the gods have to get together and kiss her ass and beg her to come back. And they fortunately for us, they lure her out, they get some diamonds and some other stuff, and they lure her out and she comes on out, and then everything is better again after she comes out. Thank you for coming back out, Amaterasu, right? Amaterasu, right? Thank you so much. So they lure her out, life returns, light returns, and life returns, and then hope. We get all the other good stuff. Hope, the world's suffering ends, light's back, we can all start partying again. Everything changes, right? So this is kind of the story. Like whenever she withdraws, you can kind of see it becomes a darker spot. Like, so it's very symbolic. And I just think like overall what we're seeing, even mythologically, if we look at the pattern of how important light is, right, through Ra, Apollo, Amaterasu. They're different cultures, but they're all separated by thousands of years culturally, geographically, but light remains that same thing. Light is symbolic of the truth. Light is not merely illumination. Light is also truth, it's hope, it's order, it's moral guidance. It's darkness is not merely the absence of light. Like in this scenario, dark is the corruption, the ignorance, the fear, despair. So this is why she resonates with audience, because she's burning all these things back. Consciously or unconsciously, we're still reflecting what our ancient ancestors saw in mythology. That's kind of like comic books are still representing that. It seems like a lot of comic book guys read a lot of mythology too. Like I see a lot of mythological themes in modern comic books, and this is one of the stronger ones. This is her as the light bearer, man. Like it's the light bearer. She is tasked with actually being a corrective force. We rely on her to burn that corruption out, and she does a great job. Like she actually does a great job. I'm very proud of the person that is Annie January, because what she stayed true to that character. She really represents it, and I think she pulled it off. In the tradition of modern mythology, I think she pulls it off, right? So at the end of her, it's like, what's the last message of Annie is it's still a message of hope, right? She's still very much like a message of hopefulness, right? Starlight, the Starlighter. So she still represents all that. So the other thing that kind of comes to mind is like when we see the mythology and we see the storytelling, like why are we so obsessed or fascinated with light? Like it's a deeper meaning of the symbolism of light, and says more about like humans in general. Like in every religion, we look for enlightenment. Ancient Kemet, ancient Greece. Christianity is the light bringer. In Buddhism, you're seeking enlightenment. So a lot of mythologies worldwide give heavy emphasis to light. Light represents knowledge. It represents truth. A lot of belief systems, it represents divinity. It represents revelation. It represents hope itself. It represents life itself. So there's a lot of angles that we slice through the meanings of light powers or characters like Starlight herself, but it all comes back to kind of representing those same things. And now kind of having taken a step back and looking at the series and what her role is, like, yeah, it all really clicks. So I'm a lot more bullish on Starlight than ever before. Like she really came through as a character. Like, and she represents, like, we see a lot of different things where like Butcher really represents revenge, like vengeance. We get that. The Deep is more like insecurities. A-Train is just like, blind ambition and just greed, right? She's a conscious, sees truth. Like Maeve is the beaten down one. Maeve is the one who came in and she probably had the same ideals, and it gets taken away from her. So she comes through as this song that's very strong, light as revelation. And man, it's a deep cultural mythology. It's something that we've been latched to for a long time in various cultures. in this dynamic of darkness being ignorance, secrecy, uncertainty, and the unknown. She represents through light, knowledge, awareness, truth, and awakening. So that symbolism is everywhere throughout it, like it's prophetic. So she becomes, in a lot of ways, and we see it, light is not destroying anything. That's not what she does. Light doesn't destroy. Light simply reveals. It shows us something, and that's exactly what she does. So Homelander becomes a fascinating contrast to her because while he is associated with the sky, he flies, he glows, he shoots beams from his eyes, he's all destruction. He's also light. Like if you look at the two of them, if you see images of them together, like they're not so different. They're both light as destruction. They're both light, but he's light as destruction. She's light as illumination, right? His light burns, it dominates, it intimidates. Her light functions differently. It exposes, it reveals, it uncovers. So he uses the power to control perception. She uses her power to challenge perception. So I don't know if she's serving to be like a moral opposite of him, not because he's stronger, but because she is something that he's not. She is truth and it matters. And she always has that courage. It's like, you see Annie go, like, I would have left the boys, I would have left Vought on the first day. Like, the first time, I'm not, look, I'm getting the hell up out of there. Even after you get past what the Deep does to her, right? Like, continue, always being, like, your life is threatened multiple times, right? I don't even see how she endures that part. But she keeps coming back, man. She keeps coming back. This girl's fearless, man. Like, Huey, that dick, sent her into some really dangerous situations, like just kept sending her back in there. And I'm like, don't go. But like Starlight, man, she didn't back down. Like, so she says a lot. She represents a lot through her power. I think there's a lot of deep mythology in there. And I think that's why she resonates so hard. She's just a really good character for kind of encapsulating like all the light aspect abilities, right? So that's kind of it on Homelander. Like, give me your thoughts about that. I'm going to run a clip real quick while I take just a little bit of a break. Let me get to the right window here, guys, so I can play something for you guys here. All right, I'm going to get this going, and I'll be back in just like a couple of minutes, right? Person, I'm replacing you with that person, right? His whole thing, you have to be the fastest. No one else's position was really like that. And he lived off of all the commercials, sponsorships, and being in movies. Like everything for him was around that speed. Like, you know, it was him like dealing with a terrifying reality that you were unique to being replaced. Like there would be for some stuff that you don't do, simply slowing down. Like it wasn't like that for the Deep. It wasn't like that for Maeve. It wasn't like that for anybody else, man. Like you were the only one who had to wake up and say, man, if somebody else proves that they're faster than me, I'm no longer in the 7, man. That's simple. So it was a different, like, you know, it was a different like daily like operating system that he had, right? What he was dealing with versus what everybody else was dealing with. Like that's the truth of the matter. Like he had a whole different like thing that he was dealing with, right? And we can respect that. We can respect that A-Train's ride was a little bit different than everybody else's, right? And that's not even calling it a bad thing. I'm just moving my YouTube. I just want to monitor my YouTube over here. I didn't like it over there. Hang on. So A-Train, man, like he had a unique pressure on him day to day, right? He couldn't ever, like, you know, it wasn't even like I did something wrong and I get kicked out. He had to deal with that, but he also had to be like, yeah, you better be the fastest man in the world. The day you're not the fastest man in the world, you're gone. You're no longer needed. The 7 can't tolerate you not being the fastest, right? And that was very clear to him. It was very, very clear to him. Like Homelander was like, it was very clear. And don't get fat, right? Like remember he kind of said that to him, right? And it's crazy because like it's odd that you would kind of believe that a career based on speed, like you already know what it's gonna be. Like it's a curse, man. It's a curse. Your curse was that you had to be number one all the time. So you always fear replacement. Like, you know, the younger guy's supposed to be faster than you. You know it. Like the faster hero, the next generation. So you were always fighting against that. So, like, you know, it wasn't a debate about that. You know, like who's stronger, who's smarter, who's a better fighter. Like speed, like that's the one they can just be like, yeah, he's no longer the fastest one. And if you're no longer the fastest, We know this. People bow down to unicorns all the time, right? So we know this part, right? So he takes on a unicorn form, and that's all about manipulation. Usually, he can also take on a human form, right? The supernatural creature who can change form immediately raises concerns because is your appearance genuine? So that's his main thing. He can appear as just an angel, but this dude's mad shifty, right? It's a fallen angel who's known for spreading death and decay. He has demonic powers, and shapeshifting is one of the big things on the set right here. So when he shows up, I can't even trust what I initially go to, which is first impressions, because I don't know if that's what your real form is, and I know it's not. So there's some reason you took that form of, and it's all manipulation. Okay. Now, if we look at this being here, this Amdusius, how powerful is this being as an actual being? Like, what are we actually looking at here in terms of like power set, right? Plenty power. He commands 29 legions of spirits. He produces mysterious music. I don't know what that does, but music is linked to power. We just showed that with our other two light connect abilities, right? He causes instruments to play by themselves. I don't know what that means or what that sounds like, but apparently that's in his skill set, and he can influence trees and nature through supernatural forces. This sounds like a pretty powerful being to me. Like many other spirits, he isn't famous for brute force, but he has the ability that revolves around like influences, sound, like other unseen, like supernatural powers, right? So he's gonna rate pretty high. So I gotta take this seriously if this threat shows up in my doorstep, right? Like if he's on the scene, fallen angel, I gotta be crafty with my navigation, right? I have to be crafty with my navigationals, okay? So then I get into like, okay, what is the character of the individual that I'm dealing with? So right, so Amdusius, let me look at who you are. You kind of got Ducius right in your name. Like this is the problem because we don't know a lot about the text. We have a lot of text on this guy, like more text than there's on me, but it doesn't really talk about his personality life. He's listed among these gothic spirits that people say could be summoned for and commanded to perform rituals. I don't know why you guys keep trying to do that, but this is one of the figures that people like repeatedly, like, yeah, let me summon this guy and turn him into my bitch and make him do all kinds of, like, I'm gonna make this guy do all kinds of stuff. So this is one of the guys that you guys like to summon when you want to start some trouble. And it always gets out of hand. Like it always gets out of hand, right? So this is the guy you got to be thinking about this. If you're going to summon him and then he shows up at the doorstep, you might have a problem. You might have a problem. This guy is deep in like religious beliefs, folklore. Many occult traditions mention them. There's like a lot of like various confirming, separate facts that talk about the identity of this fallen angel, known as the destroyer for a reason, right? Known as the destroyer for a reason. That's something we got to start looking at people's names. Their names tell you a lot, like any alternative names, right? What's his motivation going to be? Why is he standing at my doorstep, right? Why is this fallen angel a fallen angel? Used to be an angel, but has fallen down. You got fired from being an angel, right? So I don't want to blow it out of proportion. Like I've got plenty of homies been fired from places. Doesn't mean you're a bad person. You got fired from heaven. Like they got high standards over there, right? That's the whole thing. So we know that heaven has high standards. So you getting fired from heaven doesn't necessarily mean you're a bad being in any kind of way. Maybe I get some knowledge out of him. Maybe he gets some conversation, break some stuff down for me. I don't know. Like, I'm going to try to get you to sit down and smoke a blunt with me. And then we'll see where it goes from there. Like, why is it here? I need to understand your motivation. So without it, like, everything about this carries, a bad taste in it for me, right? For me, this is not a good look. I'm not happy with him showing up here like this, right? So what's the best case scenario for me? Well, everything goes perfectly. I sit down, like I sit down with the fallen angel. We chop it up, right? It's a fascinating conversation about mythology and music. Like I just got a brand new pair of like solo buds. Just got some solo buds. Like I always hated earbuds, but I got some solo buds and I really dig them. Like it's a lot, I'm really, really feeling it. I feel like the headphone band was kind of messing with my thin spot, right? So I had to let him go, man. So I'm going with earbuds, right? So me and him would sit down and we'd probably chop it up. We'd talk about like, yeah, I got some new earbuds. Let him listen to some music. I don't know if I put my earbuds in his ear. I'd maybe bring out my headphones, but yeah, put these on. These go inside of me. Like, these are inside of me. So I probably wouldn't let you do that. But this could be an unforgettable encounter for me, right? This is an opportunity for like, if I start getting live interviews with fallen angels, this channel will blow the fuck up, right? We all know this, okay? Now, the worst case scenario, if he shows up, is like exactly the opposite, right? That the stories about him are 100% true. That he's an immensely powerful supernatural being, and now I'm in his clutches. That the things I interpret literally or spiritually, like, he's manifesting these things, and I'm in big trouble. Like, this is an enormous risk that I'm taking on by engaging with this individual. So I got to make up my mind if he comes to my door to whether let him in or dismiss him out. Like, this is downright catastrophic if it goes sideways with him. So if he comes to my house, if there's the opportunity to say no, if there is truly, I can actually with complete free agency say no, then that's what I got to do, man. Like, the door's got to stay locked, man. The door has got to stay locked, okay? Absolutely, for him, okay? Now, okay, how do I protect myself? Like, so he's at your door, and you got to say no, right? Like, how do you then protect yourself against a fallen angel? Is there anything I can call on? I'm trying to think of who I'd be able to call on for help, or what kind of spirit or what kind of protections I would need to have, right? And they're not a lot, right? Start praying to me. Like, if he shows up at your house, okay, you're going to have to start, because now we're operating within Christian mythology, right? For this to go down, like, we're operating within Christian mythology, right? And Amdusius shows up at the crib. What do I got to start doing immediately, right? Man, I got to start praying, man. This is why you have your relationship with God, for bullshit like this. Like, this fallen, God help, like, he's over here trying to corrupt me. So you start praying to God immediately. You invoke the name of Jesus Christ. Like, you pull out the Jesus card. You start pulling out the Jesus card. You go hard on Jesus. I would put on some Mahalia Jackson. Like, I would really get very spiritual at this moment, right? Like, you got to go for it hardcore, because if you lose, if you take an L here, man, this is your eternal soul, right? Like, I'm operating inside of the mythology, right? Recite some chants, right? Go back to like Psalms 23, 91, Ephesians 6, all these, like, the armor of God. Go to that immediately, right? You're going to have to run the table with this one to get this guy up out of here. Like, this is what you're going to have to do, right? And here's the thing, because this guy, you got to be crafty, because this guy isn't just represented in Christian belief system. Like, there's also fallen angels in Kemetic belief systems, right? So you're going to have a whole other set of deities. Like, you should call everyone, right? What you want to do is you want to reach out to Heru, right? I told you guys about Heru. If a fallen angel shows up at your house, reach out to Heru, right? Like, I got my Heru tattoo right here. I'm already packed up with it, right? So you got to do that, right? You got to reach out to Sekhmet. Like, Sekhmet is all about this, man. If you call Sekhmet and you're like, hey, yo, Sek, there's a fallen angel over here. She's like, what? She's over there instantly. Like, she's geared for this. This is what she's all about. She's mad all the time. And this just gives her something to be mad about, like somebody to focus on, right? Like, I'm telling you, check Sekhmet out. I'm giving you guys wisdom, right? Or you call Thoth. Like, Thoth is probably like, I text Thoth like, hey, Thoth, this dude's over here. Because Thoth is anti to him. Thoth understands. Thoth is the wisdom. He's the discernment, right? He's the guy who can help navigate us through there. Or you could simply call Wadjet, right? You can call Wadjet, and she represents the Eye of Horus. She is also protection and restoration, right? So I'm telling you right now, there's a path through this. We got to make some good decisions if a fallen angel shows up at your doorstep, man. Those are the fundamental things that we have to make, is knowing who we're up against, what we're up against, why we're up against the stuff, and who do we call for help, right? And the fundamentals, like artifacts that you can have around, like as protection to keep these people back. So you're going to reach out, you're going to fully contract out. This is a very powerful being. This is not the time to start playing around, right? Like, don't play around. Don't answer. This is like where you don't want to, I tell you, I'm not going to answer any questions without my lawyer. Do not answer any questions without Heru or Sekhmet being already tapped in. Like, immediately make that call, all right? Make that call. That's the only way that you survive this, because you're in potentially a very dangerous situation. Nobody's more disgruntled than a fallen angel. I don't know if you guys realize this. These are the most pissed ex-employees in the history of anything. Nobody is more mad that they got fired than these guys. Like Fallen Angels, this is the height. These are the first guys to ever all stand outside smoking together, talking shit about their job. Like this is the first group of people ever to do that in existence, and they're pissed off about it, right? So that's why you have to proceed with extreme caution when dealing with one of these characters here, right? So let's see who's up next in the "Do I let you in my house" scenario. Let's see who's next on the list. Black Mantis, man. So Black Mantis shows up. Black Mantis shows up at my house. Do I let Black Mantis in the house? Like, man, bruh. Damn, bruh. Like, Black Mantis, dude, you be tripping. Man, you stay out there crazy, man. You stay out there just like tripping with Black Mantis. I gotta be really honest with you, Black Mantis. Because you were so obsessed. Like, from what, like, I didn't read a lot of Aquaman because honestly, man, like, yeah, I wasn't really into it. So I don't really know an overabundance outside of Black Mantis. I just know that you're black. So I feel like I should talk to you a certain way, right? And I'm going to talk to you about it. Like, so Black Mantis shows up at the crib, and man, there's not few guys more terrifying than Black Mantis showing up at the crib because ain't nothing good gonna, like, if you rolling around like that, if you show up with your full costume on, which is how you like to roll, if you show up like that, I mean, come on, man. Like, come on, man. Like, why are you even over here, man, with this? Like, come on, man. So it's already bad business, right? It's already bad business. You show up here, already know it's not gonna be good, right? And like power level wise, then I gotta start assessing you on the power level. Like, how powerful is Black Mantis? And the answer is pretty damn powerful. Like, that's the truth. He's pretty damn powerful. So I gotta really gauge this out. Like, this, you can scratch if you can go head up with Aquaman, you're a powerful being. This guy is a genius level. They never really say this very much. He is a genius level intellect, right? I don't know if you guys know what that means, but it means pretty damn smart. He's elite combat training. He's highly trained, badass dude, right? Like, you ain't on Aquaman's level, but you're damn, for us, like, this dude's gonna take the cake every single time, right? You're also advanced armor suit, right? You got advanced armor, right? So you roll around with that, like, highly advanced armor, right? High powerful optic blast, right? Underwater technology, access to submarines, weapons, and mercenaries. So even without superpowers, this is a mad dangerous dude, man. He really represents it. So I gotta judge him out what I know about him when he steps on the scene, right? Okay, now this is where we get to it. Like, I gotta go to the next step. And not every criminal is even a bad dude, but this guy is, man. I mean, come on, man. I'm usually willing to give a brother so tell me what's going on, man. Like, make me understand what you're so mad about. I can't really do this with this bro, man. He's obsession driven. He's vengeance. He's willing to kill for anything. He's like dude's brilliant, but man, you know what? I'm gonna put a question mark on this, bro. I want to know bro's story, man. I feel like I'm not getting your side of the story, Black Mantis, and I'm just gonna tell you that, man. I'm just being real with you, man. Like, before I really judge your character, man, I really want to know your side of the story because I don't feel like I'm getting it from Aquaman, man. I don't feel like I'm fully getting who Black Mantis is as being told to me by Aquaman, right? I'm simply gonna put that out there. I'm simply gonna be really honest that I'm gonna reserve judgment on my man's character, right? Until I hear it from himself, till he tells me what he's raising up against. I'm not gonna take Aquaman's word for it, right? Okay. Now, the motivation, why are you at my house? Why are you at my house in the first place? Okay. Now, this is an interesting conversation because it ain't good for me, right? You're not known for random social calls. So there's an agenda, and it's probably something I don't want to get involved. I don't have beef with Aquaman, right? So I don't really want to get involved in any beef that you might have with Aquaman for no good reason, right? So I'm not going to do that. So what's the best case scenario? Maybe you're just at the wrong address, right? You got bad intel, but I can't really even see you leaving without like you trying to shove or blow something up at the house. So like even the best case scenario is a bad case scenario. And the worst case scenario is that one of DC's most dangerous mercenaries is now at my house. And now I got to figure out what I'm going to do about it, right? So that's kind of where I am. So the final verdict is like, no, I'm not letting you into the house. Like, there's no way I'm inviting you into the house, which could create the next scenario, right? Like, if I decide that I don't want to let him into the house, like, what do I need to keep him out of the house? Like, what kind of, we see he's a pretty massive threat level. What would I need within the world of fiction that would allow me to resist Black Mantis? How can I keep this dude about my spot if I need to do that? Because if I tell him no, like, and I know he's got an agenda, it's not gonna be this is not gonna be an easy, quick, like, nah, man, like I kind of see him as like, yeah, like he's there. I open the door, like, nah, you ain't getting in. It's gonna be a problem, man. So, like, in order to keep him back, to keep him out, man, I really need like Batman level security system, right? I need a Wayne Tech like panic room. I need reinforcements against explosions, energy weapons. Like, my house is gonna be destroyed. Okay, if he shows up at the crib, there's a high probability that my house is already about to get destroyed, right? Like, but the thing about it, he's not here for no reason. Okay, so this is what I need. I need Wayne security system. So I need all that. I need a panic room. I need a power. I need power armor for myself, right? Because he's got his power armor on. I need energy shielding. I need all that. Like, I need, honestly, to really handle this food. Unfortunately, I need Aquaman. I need an alliance with Aquaman because he's gonna know how to get out of this, guys, right? Like, the survival strategy is not to fight him, right? I can't fight him, right? I gotta delay him. I gotta use my protections around me, but it's gonna be a lot. If he shows up like most often, like, I'm done. If my house is normal, if your house is normal, your house doesn't exist anymore. That's the first thing. He's gonna tear your house like up. Like, it's not gonna exist anymore. So there's a whole different strategy. Like, so if I have to survive after now that I've told him no, I'm not letting you in, can I keep him out? Because he ain't just gonna go gently into that quiet night. Like, that's not who my man is right here, right? He's not gonna do that. So that's what we're gonna be dealing with him right off the bat. It's gonna be a problem if I tell him no. So it's all bad business here, man. Oh man, Carrie White. Like, Carrie White, man. Carrie White. Man. Man. Ah, man. Some of you guys may not know Carrie White. And you know what, man? I can't let her go out like this, man. I really can't let her go out like this. I can't let her go out like this. Like, that's Carrie. Like, I mean, we gotta see the other side of Carrie too. I can't let you guys, because obviously nobody lets anybody in looking like this, right? Like, nobody would let anyone in their house in the universe if you're covered with blood like this. If somebody comes to your door, like, come on, like, show me one of the nice Carrie White. Okay, let's give a whole different insight into Carrie White here, because this does matter, right? Context does matter. With Carrie White, it is going to matter. And I feel like, yeah, I wasn't really giving her. Let's see, where I want you to go. Get you into my would you folder, right? All right, let me get this one over here. Where's that folder at? All right, let me get a whole different, like, Carrie White. Like, this is the other Carrie White. This is like Carrie White most of the time. And I'm sorry that I put that initial image of you up there, Carrie. That wasn't the right thing to do, right? That was the wrong thing to do. This is Carrie White. Well, this isn't Carrie White most of the time. This is Carrie White at the fateful prom night. But you can see it's a massive. This is early in the prom, and that's late in the prom. Let me see if there's like a regular, like, during the movie picture Carrie White. Because it's not bad. Like, obviously the actress is Sissy Spacek, so they get an attractive woman to play Carrie. So, like, Carrie's just like, she's quiet and she's super plain, but Carrie's not an unattractive chick, right? Like, that's not what's going on. Like, I don't have a good image of it. Carrie's not an unattractive lady, right? I don't know why I showed the bloody image. Just more shocking that way for the thumbnails. Obviously, this one, like, gets a lot more thumbnail clicks than this one here. Or maybe it shouldn't, right? Not in my world, it doesn't, right? So I'm at the crib and this Carrie White shows up. Like, me, Carrie White shows up, right? And I got to make some decisions. Like, right off the bat, shy high school student, nothing about her screams danger or anger at all. And she really isn't. So she's going to score a high mark. Like, right off the bat, I'm feeling good about our interaction right now. Now, when we talk about her power level, okay? This is where we got to start taking this young lady very, very seriously, like very extremely serious. He's a very, very powerful telekinetic abilities, right? She can throw people across rooms. She can move extremely heavy objects that I can't even lift. She can lock and shatter doors. Like, she's got precision with her shit. She's not just, I can throw big objects around. She's also precise with her telekinesis. Like, she's been practicing, right? She can break windows. She can manipulate electrical objects or electrical systems. She can create widespread chaos and destruction when she's emotionally overwhelmed. Now, when she's calm, she's one of the sweetest girls around. Like, you're not, like, I don't even see why people would pick on Carrie White, but she's been traumatized. So like, it's on her, man. Right. So, like, based on just her power level, man, extreme threat, like extreme threat potential, man. I got to be very, very honest. This is one of the highest level threats you can get. Like, as an individual, there's nothing you can do back against Carrie at all. Like, there's literally nothing. I'm going to try to craft a defense against Carrie, okay? But this is going to be very problematic. Now we get to talking about, like, the third wheel of this, right? And this is where I get to talk about Carrie's actual character, where she gets to shine. Carrie gets to shine. Carrie is fundamentally a very kind person. She's shy and she's desperate for acceptance. But, you know, she isn't looking to hurt people. That's not who Carrie White is. She does not want to hurt anybody. That's not what she's looking to. Most of her violence, which is savagery, is associated with, like, leaving the fuck alone, right? Like, that's where she is. She's at prolonged abuse and humiliation, right? But all she's seeking is just to have friends like normal people. Just treat her like a regular person. Carrie White would have been, like, the most helpful teleconnect person of all time. Like, she's not a menace. She's not Mouse. She's trauma. But trauma can scare the shit out of you too, right? Like, don't let somebody's trauma, like, make you think they're, like, yeah, you're still savage on the inside. So then I get to, like, the motivational parts of it. Like, why is Carrie White at my door, right? So here's the thing. Like, Carrie White, like, I could see her just asking for help. It's probably something like, first of all, it took all her courage to be able to do it. But it's also probably something like not bad, right? This is not bad. The best case scenario is that me and Carrie White are cool. And I'm like, yeah, Carrie White, I'm a compassionate person. I'm not going to turn my back on you like the rest of the community did, right? I'm not going to do that to you, right? So she's cool. Like, as long as she's like, I can let her home. If she's emotionally, I could probably calm her down. Like, I got to calm her down. If she's emotionally upset, I got to calm her down before she comes in the house, right? If I can get her calm, I can fully trust her. So that's the worst case scenario, is that, the wrong mix of, like, somebody following her to the crib or some of that nature could really set her off. Like at my house could be bad. So I'm always taking a risk with my house. But yes, I let Carrie White in, and I do it with extreme caution. I'm just being cognizant of what Carrie White actually, like, really is. But overall, man, this is a nice person. If you see Carrie White, like, you can feel free to let Carrie White in. Now, if Carrie White shows up at the house, right, what kind of defense system, like, what do I need to try to keep me safe from Carrie White? Because this is a tough one, man. This is a tough cover, man. This girl's got a lot of, like, power, and it's all innate. So I don't know what you need. You need a high-level defense system. Like, first of all, you have to be able to stay calm. You want to stay calm with Carrie. You don't want to threaten her. You definitely do not want to mock or humiliate her. That is the last thing to do. You want to be very respectful. You want to give her space. You want to, like, chill her out. Like, a lot of the battle against Carrie White can be won right here, right? As long as you're not dumping some pig blood on her, like, this is what it is, okay? Now, what you really want, like, is some Professor X, right? Ability, telepathy, to get inside of her noodle and kind of shut that shit down. Otherwise, you don't have a lot of options. Now, I want to keep not only my house safe, but I want to keep my house safe. So maybe, like, a Green Lantern ring, where I could cover my shit up, right? Keep it safe like that. I don't know. Some force fields. Like, we'd have to have magical shields to protect all my stuff, or it's going to get real bad. So, like, this is what it really is. Like, so it's a difficult surviving Carrie White once she's in the vicinity. The best strategy that you have, man, is always going to be, like, be nice to Carrie White, man. Apologize for shit other people did. Say, I'm sorry that you got hurt like that, Carrie, and I would never do anything like that. I think you're a really nice person, and I think that we should be friends, right? You actually look kind of cute today. So what you doing after that prom? Like, too bad you didn't get to the after. Somebody's probably waiting for her, and it was me, right? So, all right. So, guys, it's late. It's about 1:30 here. I just wanted to kind of see what a late night stream was like. It's doing pretty good. I like it. But I'll definitely be back on about 10 a.m. my time. I'm in Central Time. I'll be back on. And I should have my next Myth Lab all prepared for you guys. So I'm logging off. You guys have an exceptional weekend, exceptional night. And thank you for stopping in.